If you're thinking about buying or selling anytime after June 2024, the landscape of real estate is going to change forever for veterans trying to utilize the VA home loan and all the benefits that come with that, right? So today's video is really more of an update to the real estate industry. Yes, this will have a direct impact on you at some point, right? Because if you have a property, you might be selling it at some point, or your kids may be transferring it. So you got to really understand the implications that are both favorable to you and some of the downsides that come with this update. So recently there was a class action lawsuit against the National Association of Realtors for $418 million in the top 5 real estate brokerages in the country. So basically, the premise behind the lawsuit was around sellers paying buyers agents a co-op fee, which I'm going to explain a little bit later, and basically artificially increasing home values at the same time. And then they're also kind of complaining or there's some kind of typical commission that was charged of 6%, which again, that's not what the National Association of Realtors puts out there, because the commission is supposed to be negotiated based on each individual brokerage and how they have their rules set up. But I mean, they did well enough on the lawsuit that, these associations and major brokerages are settling because after they've run some mock trials, they just weren't winning. So they kind of have to figure that out. So that $418 million is going to be split over 4 years of payments and again, changing the industry. So how it works today is that you typically are going to have 2 sides to a real estate transaction, the sell side and the buy side. You have a seller's agent. That's the agent that lists the property for sale. And then you have a buyer's agent that represents the buyer of the property. And when they find the property, then they will help negotiate with the sell side and be able to get you the property based on the conditions that you want, right? And then the sellers pay them a commission for bringing them a client that's willing and able to purchase a property. Now, you don't need agents. You definitely don't need them. Plenty of people have transactions. We help veterans like yourself purchase a property and then use any agents. You just need to have access to some resources, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later. And the thing is that it is definitely different in every area that you purchase, but we see it happen all the time. Now, let's talk about how it's going to look going to work after June 2024. So again, you really don't need to have agents on this. This is more pertaining to real estate using agents. So sellers' agents will negotiate a commission to sell a home with the seller. So the co-op is no longer going to be listed in the MLS either, right? So they may negotiate with the seller, say, well, the agent will charge the seller a 2% commission, but then offer no commission to the buyer's agent. And that's where things get very, I would say, I'm going to go over my predictions in a little bit, but it definitely changes the dynamic of that, right? So also that's with this lawsuit. So now, when it comes to the actual buyer's agent, right? So you, the consumer, are now going to also have to sign some type of representation agreement with the buyer's agent and negotiate the amount you're going to pay for their services. So this is where it kind of gets I think a little bit tricky, just because of the amount of availability of information online. A lot of people find their own properties online first before they even contact their agent. So there's some debate in, do you really need to use a realtor to purchase a property? Trust me, there's good ones and there's bad ones. I do this for a living and I use the realtor to buy my place. But again, that dynamic is going to be changing over time. And now, with that buyer agreement, right? And then you agree for services that they're going to pay for you're going to pay for those services. Doesn't make a difference if the sellers offer that co-op to pay that fee, you will have to come out of pocket for that, which a lot of people can't qualify. They qualify, but they don't have like extra $10,000 to be able to do something with that. Why wouldn't sellers want to make more money by not offering a co-op? Remember, it is a seller's market. So even if you're selling your place, right, this is why it's designed for everybody. Like I have a place, like, maybe I'm in an area where I can make 3, 4, 5% more money or 6% or 10% if I did it myself and I found a buyer and I didn't offer that co-op. Because again, people are going into contracts, multiple bids. They may not be everywhere, but we do see it a lot, okay? But let's say you agree to everything that we talked about. This is the kicker, is that not just because of a veteran, but using the VA loan, so you could be a surviving spouse as well, okay? Is that you cannot pay any realtor fees unless they are covered by someone other than you. So if they're covered by the seller through a seller credit, you can use that money. If the lender gives you money, you can use that money. Now, listen, I don't recommend you getting credits from a lender because the rate's going to be way higher. Premiums aren't what they used to be. So you would really have to go high in interest rate to get a credit. Again, do not recommend that at all. I mean, there could be a situation. Well, there could be a situation if you got a higher rate and then did the interest rate reduction refinance loan like 7 months later, drop into a lower rate. Rates are not guaranteed to go drop down. Yes, they're cyclical. They'll drop down at some point, but you really have to be timing wise. So I'll give you guys my predictions on this and the impact that it's going to have for our veteran community. So initially, I think sellers would be like, you know what? I'm not going to offer a co-op because they want to be able to make more money. It's not necessarily greed. It's the market, right? And there was a point in time when buyers, they didn't offer co-ops, right? So people still bought properties. Now it's just kind of changing, right? The market is changing, and how people adapt to it is really going to depend, right? So the reality also, like I mentioned, is most buyers don't have a bunch of extra money to be able to do that. And there's also this thing called the internet that has a ton of information that's available. And again, most buyers find the agents find the properties on their own. They need help through the rest of the process. So I see that if, there's not tools that are going to be available for I think there are going to be tools that are going to be available. Actually, we're hoping that to create some of that, because we teach a lot of this stuff in real estate and in finances. That's why we love doing this stuff. So the thing is that I think it's going to be a lot of shift to self-representation, both from the buyer and the seller side, right? And there's also right now, I think the industry is blocking a lot of information or access to information. A good example of that would be, let's say, I need to get a real estate sales contract, right? For sale by owner. Like we run into this problem. And so what we'll do is we'll have an attorney draft a contract because agents typically will have all these contracts, which consumers don't. So I think that all that information, they'll be like the LegalZooms of the world. They're going to offer some kind of a la carte service for, hey, I need this. I need an attorney. I need an inspector. So there's going to be something that's going to come up from all of this to help protect veterans and be able to make a transaction a lot smoother. Well, our value is going to drop because of this development? No. They're going to continue. Well, it's not guaranteed, but a lot of markets, we continue to see it going up. So just make sure you're doing your research. If you guys have questions, drop a comment down below. I'll also include a link to my YouTube channel. If you guys can hit the like and subscribe button, we do education around the VA home loan primarily, and just get you information as it comes up that's trending in the industry, and also information that you should know when it comes to using your VA home loan. So I'll catch you guys soon.